Mary had a little man.
We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Help is on the way.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show. Turn up your mind.
Kash Patel has stood by President-elect Trump since his first term, when he served in multiple roles, including Chief of Staff at the Pentagon.
What?
Kash Patel is here, one of our real warriors.
In his announcement picking Patel to lead the FBI, Trump says he played a pivotal role in uncovering the Russia hoax, referring to the DOJ's investigation of Moscow meddling in the 2016 election.
And we are on a mission to annihilate the deep state.
Patel has vowed to dismantle the FBI, which he sharply criticized in his book, writing it will remain a threat to the people unless drastic measures are taken.
I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopening the next day as a museum of the deep state.
Democratic Senator Chris Murphy is urging colleagues not to confirm Patel.
Kash Patel's only qualification is because he agrees with Donald Trump that the Department of Justice should serve to punish, lock up, and intimidate Donald Trump's political opponents.
On Face the Nation, Republican Senator Ted Cruz called Patel a strong candidate.
All of the weeping and gnashing of teeth, all of the people pulling their hair out are exactly the people who are dismayed about having a real reformer come into the FBI and clean out the corrupted partisans.
The current FBI director, Christopher Wray, who was appointed by Trump in 2017, still has 3 years left on a 10-year term. So he would have to resign or be fired in order for there to be an opening. In a statement, the FBI says Wray is focused on the people of the FBI and the work they are doing.
Oh my goodness! So while we were eating leftovers and while we were celebrating and having belly laughs with our family, he won. Oh, F you, like that. There was all kinds of crap going on. There was all kinds of Stefan crap going on, and it was all being announced in waves of lunacy on Truth Social. So of course I did what I do. I go to the movies. This is what I do. Went to see Wicked. It was so good. It was so good. It was so good. Oh, we cried. You get broken at the end. You just, wow. And everybody applauds. You haven't been to a movie where everybody applauds lately, have you? No, you haven't. So you need to go to this one. And also, here's why you need to go to the movies now. You need to go to the movies now because once Robert F. Kennedy becomes, in charge of the Food and Drug Administration, and we get like the Undersecretary of Ayahuasca, Aaron Rodgers. Oh yeah. Oh, you think some of the picks, that they made were bad? Oh wait, you got to see what Trump's picking. Holy crap! And it ain't his nose, and that's all he should be picking. If you ask me, that's the only thing he's qualified to pick. Good Lord, man, we're in trouble. But so I went to the movies and I enjoyed a tub. Oh, mock me, I don't care. A giant tub of popcorn with, that's right, golden topping. I don't know what it is. I don't want to know what it is. I don't care if it's, I don't care if it's high. I was going to say hyaluronic acid because that's the woman I have become. But I was going to say hydraulic fluid. Okay, because that's the woman I was, right? Yeah. So I don't care if it's a cross between those two blended with gold yellow color. Don't care. That was what I had. And the nachos with the absolutely unidentifiable fake cheese food thing, delicious. And you better have that before RFK Jr. becomes the flavor police. And you can't have that anymore. Did you know that there's recliners in the movie theater now? Yes, there are. Go see a movie. I hear Gladiator blows, but if you're a guy and you're saying, like, I'm not going to do a musical, I understand it's like a genetic thing. I get it. You have a Y chromosome, and you have to question people singing as being somehow not great, not fun, not masculine. Are you kidding me? Singing is not I guess unless you're going like this. I don't know.
The Book of Mormon was awesome.
Right? right? So I don't know what your objection is, but I'm telling you have to go and enjoy the movies right now because you're not going to be able to. You're not. They are, I'm looking at, Jess is here from California. They haven't been able to buy any flavored vapes in years now. It's been years. And I don't see the life expectancy, going, woo, I just color me skeptical about banning things, more things. And the golden topping, I just know it's on the chopping block. I just know it is. So when you look at the people that Donald Trump is picking and you see how it's going to affect your lives, I think you will recoil in horror when I explain to you that for the Department of Justice, not the CIA, which is what Bannon's wet dream was. Bannon has wet dreams. Oh, God, add it to the, just the flavor of him anyway, just that you get from even watching Rumble, okay, let alone his show on Rumble. The whole thing stinks. It's like, ew, what's that smell? I hit a skunk, Karen. That's what it reminds me of every time I see that face. But he wanted Kash Patel to be the CIA director. Not really sure exactly what he wanted out of that particular anointment. But instead, he's going to settle for the head of law and order, the head of our Department of Investigations, the Federal Bureau of Investigations. He's going to be the FBI director. Now, it does beg the question, what do we do with the other Trump-appointed FBI director that we've been living with all these years? And that would be Chris Wray. Well, Chris Wray is still the FBI director today because you know why? Donald Trump ain't president yet. And so here he is making an announcement about the new guy, and the old guy is still the old guy. He's still there. I mean, can you imagine just all of this horror that's being, injected into the Department of Law and Order by the law and order people? It's really sick. It's really twisted. It's super backwards, and it's unbelievably chaotic and disturbing, and that's what it's meant to be. So, look at it and mock it. Look at it and, just realize that there are people that, will have to be the guardrails. It will probably fall to people like us, right? What can I tell you? We're going to have to call balls and strikes. Going to be a lot of balls. A lot, until they shrivel up and die is what it's going to be. I just, honestly, it's just amazing. So I'm going to show you who this dude, Kash Patel, really is. I mean, they have been padding his resume, Donald Trump has, by giving him various, chief cook and bottle washer, appointments in the White House over and over and over again. The guy is okay, no offense, because I didn't go to any college, okay? So I can't rightly be mocking his college because I didn't go to one, except I'm gonna. He graduated from Pace University, which is known in, Queens as a party school, okay? He went there. He got his law degree from there. He was a public defender in Florida. That's what he did. He was a public defender, and he wouldn't file any briefs that he thought he would lose. So too bad for you if you were his client and he couldn't make a decent argument. He just wouldn't even bother making the argument at all because he wouldn't file anything that he thought he might lose. I mean, it's really sick, and the people that worked with him in that office said that. I'm not making that up. I didn't see everything that came out of Florida. It's like a horror movie. It came from Florida. Florida man, Pam Bondi. I mean, in a nutshell, Pam Bondi versus, let's say, Kamala Harris, okay? Both attorney generals of a state, right? Housing crisis. Pam Bondi sided with banks. Kamala Harris sided with homeowners being foreclosed on by banks. Can you see the diff? And we're about to enter into the age of banks and billionaires and nobody else. That is really what's going on. Now, Kash Patel is such a dirty bird, I don't know how else to put it, that just naming him for FBI director is flipping the bird to everyone who thinks this is a country of laws. That's all it is.
Clear for takeoff. Randi Rhodes. Randi Rhodes. Randi Rhodes. RandiRhodes.com.
All things Randi at RandiRhodes.com.
Go for launch.
Speaking truth to power, the Randi Rhodes Show.
Let's see if we can tie this all together in one big bow.
Overnight, a sudden reversal. President Biden issuing a full and unconditional pardon of his son Hunter, ending a legal saga that the president now says was politically motivated. Biden had long promised he would not interfere with his son's cases, telling our David Muir in June such a pardon was not an option.
Will you accept the jury's outcome, their verdict, no matter what it is?
Yes.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
But now Biden says he believes his son was selectively and unfairly prosecuted. Writing in a statement, no reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out only because he is my son, and that is wrong. The president accusing his political opponents of trying to break Hunter, who has been sober now for over 5 years. Saying in trying to break Hunter, they've tried to break me, and there's no reason to believe it will stop here. Enough is enough.
I'm extremely proud of my son Hunter. He has overcome an addiction. He's one of the brightest, most decent men I know.
Hunter Biden was convicted in June on federal gun charges for lying on a federal form about his drug addiction when he bought this Colt revolver in 2018. And in September, he pleaded guilty in a last-minute deal to 9 tax-related charges, accused of avoiding paying $1.4 million in taxes while living lavishly, taxes he had since paid back. He was scheduled to be sentenced later this month in each case, potentially facing more than a decade in prison. But now Hunter, seen with his father over this past holiday weekend, will face none of that. The president's pardon is sweeping, covering not just those charges, but any uncharged crimes between 2014 and 2024. For months, the president intentionally avoided commenting on the specifics of his son's cases, not wanting to give the appearance of interfering, instead stressing his support for Hunter as a father.
I love him, and he's on a straight and narrow, and he has been for a couple years now, and I'm just so proud of him.
While at the White House, aides were emphatic that the president would not step in on his son's behalf.
We've been asked that question multiple times. Our answer stands, which is no.
But now the president says, here's the truth. I believe in the justice system. But as I have wrestled with this, I also believe raw politics has infected this process, and it led to a miscarriage of justice. Adding, I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president would come to this decision.
So I understand why, and I don't know, that there are people out there that don't, but in case you're one of those freaks of nature who can't understand that a father unconditionally loves his son and that his son did things that no one has ever gone to jail for. So, here are Hunter's crimes, and it always just blew my mind. I always said that there's no gun laws in this country except the one that they convicted Hunter Biden with, right? I mean, there's no gun laws in this country. Nobody goes to jail for gun laws, violation of gun laws, especially this one. Okay, so Hunter Biden lied on a form. Yes, he lied on a form, and I've never read, and I read very widely. If I do say so myself, never really heard of anybody going to jail for lying on a form about whether or not they were addicted to drugs the day that they were filling out that form, because if they did, I bet you half of the gun owners in this country would have to go to jail, okay, for doing that. But unless it was, you acting as a straw purchaser, meaning you were illegally buying guns for somebody else because they were ineligible to buy a gun. No, that wasn't the case here. Or unless you were using that said gun for a crime, for the purpose of criming, or in the commission of a crime. No, that did not happen here. Or if you were buying like a whole armory full of guns and lying on the form. That doesn't apply here either. It was just the one gun that he had for 11 days that was never loaded, and that was thrown in the trash by his girlfriend because she realized he should not have a gun. Ooh, let's send him to jail for that. Now, you know that nobody would go to jail for that. Nobody, okay? The other crime was a tax crime. Well, tax crimes. Well, didn't Alphonse Capone? Yeah, but didn't he also have syphilis or something? I mean, wasn't there like an excuse that he had that made him cheat? I don't know. It's just Trump always brings up Al Capone. Okay, so the tax thing. Let's briefly describe the horrible, horrible crime around Hunter Biden's taxes. So he was a drug addict, admittedly. Like beginning in 2004 to 2019. And since 2019, he's been clean and sober. Wow. So there's the 10 years. Okay. So Hunter Biden was addicted to drugs and forgot to fill out his taxes. Well, that's no excuse. I'm sorry. It's just not in this here law and order society. And no, it isn't. However, he did sober up and he did realize that he had not paid his taxes. He did pay his taxes. He did pay his taxes with penalties that were assessed. And he did pay his taxes with interest that had accrued. Now, who goes to jail for paying their taxes with interest and penalties? No one. Okay, so you can see. All right, so then there was this plea agreement. There was a plea deal that was entered into, and then the day of the court hearing, the judge was freaked out by all the people that objected to it, Republican people, and said, I can't accept this plea deal. We're going to have to hash this out. Merrick Garland, our current Attorney General of the United States of America, who has prosecuted no one for any law breaking in Trump administration years, except for Hunter Biden, actually hired, appointed an independent counsel, Mr. Weiss, who was the U.S. Attorney in Delaware, who was entering into this plea deal to become the special counsel over the Hunter Biden issue of the taxes in California. Now, a Delaware U.S. attorney would not have the ability to investigate Hunter Biden in California, but a special prosecutor does. And so Merrick Garland literally unleashed Weiss to go investigate the tax situation in California. And what did he come back with? Oh, he paid his taxes. He paid them with penalties, and he paid it with all the interest due. So I guess I could bring it to court. Yeah, and, he pleaded guilty to it, and he was awaiting sentencing. Now, here's where it becomes very suspicious. Not that... Do you think that it had anything to do with Hunter Biden being Hunter Biden? Okay, because I do. But that being said, lay that aside.
All things Randi at RandiRhodes.com.
Go for launch.
Speaking truth to power, the Randi Rhodes Show.
You're not going to hide behind your cloaks. We're coming for you, too. You are corrupt. What you allowed to happen in that D.C. courtroom and what you allowed to do to these J6 people and send these to prison, Benny Thompson, you're corrupt. Liz Cheney, you're corrupt. Preserve your documents because we're coming after you.
Oh, my God.
You people are criminals. Mm-hmm. And you put people that didn't have the money to defend themselves, you put them in prison and you destroyed their lives and you tried to break them. You got a 70-year-old Gold Star mother in a prison in Colorado right now, okay? In a prison in Colorado, totally made up charges. You people are revolting. You're disgusting. And Damon Williams and Jack Smith, you can quit and run. Andrew Weissman, you can run wherever you're going to run. The long arm of the law is going to track you down, and you're going to be held accountable.
Oh, my God. Oh, okay. So the 70-year-old Gold Star mother he's talking about is Tina Peters from Colorado, the election denier, the one who just went to jail for trying to rig the election. Yeah, that's the Gold Star mother. I mean, it's they want you to be afraid, okay? This is what Steve Bannon is all about. Be afraid. Be very afraid. We're coming after you. We're going to get you. We're going to get you. They want us to be afraid so that we will give up, so that we will go away quietly and say, please, just, pass over my house. Pass over my house. Well, I'll put goat's blood on the studio door frame if I have to get God to pass over my house. Steve Bannon I ain't so worried about. We are not going anywhere. Free Speech TV is not going anywhere, okay? And it is the Winter Free Speech TV Pledge Drive. And now I think you can see how we need your help more than ever before. So at this moment, you can take action by donating right now to Free Speech TV, by supporting us right now, and make sure that we are able to defend ourselves and keep you informed. Okay, without corporate influence, without a political, influence, without any of that. Okay, Some of the stations are spinning off. They're just like, woo, we don't want to do this anymore, so we're going to put you over here, and we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. But trust me, crap's going to happen. It is. It just is. And so we're going to have to defend ourselves, and that's going to take you. So pitch in now. Visit freespeech.org right now, or call right now, 877-378-8669. Call right now. Or text to 44321, just like a little countdown here, 44321. Why I feel like Elon Musk. 44321. Text the letters FSTV, and we'll send you a secure link, and you can make your donation right there, right then. And thank you, because this is going to be quite a ride. Quite a ride, everybody. Saddle sores expected. But that's what he's doing there. He's trying to freak us out. He's trying to freak out. We're coming after you. Like he's going to Andrew Weissman. Andrew freaking Weissman. Kash Patel. Okay, so Kash Patel. This is why Hunter Biden had to be pardoned. This is why. Because, the President Biden, did not go back on his word. He let the whole process play out. He let his son face the bar of justice. He let his son answer these bogus charges. I don't mean bogus in the way that you couldn't prosecute somebody for them. You could, obviously, prosecute somebody for lying on a form that says, under penalty of perjury, you affirm that everything you just wrote was true. You could prosecute somebody, just we don't. We don't. But in this case, they did. And by they, I mean Merrick Garland. Joe Biden's own DOJ prosecuted his son for something no one gets prosecuted for. And the tax charges, I mean, I could see if he, lied on his taxes, didn't pay the proper amount on his taxes, cheated on his taxes, tried to, conspire with other people to hide money, which brings me to Charles Kushner. Oh, yes. How do you get there from here? Well, I'll show you. Charles Kushner, as you may recall, is Jared's dad. And I don't mean, the Every Kiss is from K, Jared Jewelers or whatever it is. No, I don't mean that. I mean, okay, let's just put this in perspective. So Hunter Biden's paying taxes late with penalties and with interest could have been handled by, Optima Tax Relief, okay? Jared Kushner's father, Charles Kushner, was involved in a conspiracy to hide income that included his sister and his sister's husband. Yes, Charles Kushner has a sister, and she was married to a man who Charles Kushner found out was cooperating with DOJ. That they were cooperating and that they were telling the law enforcement agency to spare themselves that Charles Kushner was a fraud and cheated on his taxes. When Charles Kushner found out that his brother-in-law was cooperating with the feds on his tax cheating, Charles Kushner sent a prostitute to his brother-in-law's house to lure him to a hotel for sex, which his brother-in-law, I guess he knew his foibles. I guess he knew where to, strike. Went with her to a hotel room that was completely outfitted with cameras. Unbeknownst to him, he had sex with the prostitute. It was all caught on film. And Charles Kushner sends that video to his sister, saying if your husband continues to cooperate, you can expect a whole lot more eyeballs will see this. You will be drummed out of society. You will be shamed no end. Your husband and his cheating and everything else that he does with prostitutes, everyone's going to know everything about you. Tell him to back the F off. Charles Kushner was convicted. Charles Kushner did go to jail. He pled guilty to the tax charges after long last. Do you know who the prosecutor in that case was? Only the very, 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 very political junkies, the real addicted junkies, the straight to the vein China white junkies know who the prosecutor was. It was Chris Christie. Yep. And when Chris Christie was doing the transition for Donald Trump the last time, and he was, in charge of the transition, he was like the head of it. And Jared got a little low to that. Jared made sure that Donald Trump fired Chris Christie. Chris Christie said that that prosecution was one of the most grotesque, disturbing, ugly, just gross prosecutions he ever had to engage in. The one against Charles Kushner. Yeah. Before Donald Trump left in 2020, which was a great day, except for this, he pardoned Charles Kushner. He pardoned him. Over the weekend, Donald Trump nominated Charles Kushner, the one he pardoned, to be our ambassador to France. If anybody says anything to me about Hunter Biden, you're going to have to explain how Charles Kushner, this grotesque individual who sent porn to his sister involving her husband, got pardoned by Donald Trump, is now nominated to be our ambassador to France. How, in what world, is that okay? We haven't even gotten to Kash Patel yet. Haven't even gotten there.
This is the Randi Rhodes Show. To speak with Randi, dial 561-270-3844. That's 561-270-3844.
All righty. Joe in D.C., Donald Trump's personal fiefdom.
Hey, Randi, great show today.
Thank you.
Since these picks of Trump aren't really qualified, does Charles Kushner even speak French?
No, he does not. And does France actually let felons in? No, they do not. So he will have to travel on a diplomatic visa. Yeah. So
thought I'd run that by you. Thanks, Randi.
Well, do you know, I want to share this with you, too, before you leave.
Okay.
There's another father-in-law that is going to be involved in our beautiful administration in our lovely country. Tiffany Trump, the Tiffany one, the one that never, he never talks about.
Right.
She has a father-in-law, and her father-in-law is going to be nominated for the Arab advisor, Donald Trump's advisor on Arab affairs. Her father-in-law.
Oh my God!
I know, but I would think he does speak Arabic. So there's a little step up for you, so you don't have to feel so bad. Okay, but yeah, your town, D.C., it's not going to look anything like it looks now. It's going to be Donald Trump's personal little fiefdom. He is going to lay off so many federal workers, which is the population of Washington D.C. proper, not the suburbs. Specifically, not Potomac or any of the surrounding Washington, D.C. areas, but the actual Lafayette part of Washington, the really pretty part, the historic part. That's where the federal workers live. Yeah, that's where they live. And they're about to all get laid off, like 4,000 of them. So good luck there. Good luck, everybody. And with, somebody like Kash Patel sitting on the law and order fence for you, why, fear not. Lana in Tennessee.
Wow. I didn't have to wait long at all.
No.
Thank you, Randi.
You're
welcome. It's been a while since I've spoken with you.
Are you still driving or no? We gave that up.
Well, no, I am. I finally found a really great job. It's a relatively progressive company. It's kind of small. They're out of Hunter Island or Huntsville Island, I think, or Kent Island. There it is. I'm sorry, Kent Island. I'm just getting used to it. I've only been with them for about 3 weeks. But anyway, I spent Thanksgiving with my brothers, who I had been estranged from since our mother died 3 years ago. And I finally saw my baby brother that I hadn't seen in 5 years. And it was interesting because I got there Wednesday afternoon, and he was already there at my other brother. I'm the oldest. And I went in, and all afternoon he said he had something to talk to me about. Well, he finally came up and told me that he is going to gift me, after the first of the year, $1 million in investment account. And the idea is where I have enough income every month where I don't have to work anymore.
Oh, my
He
God.
doesn't want me driving. He doesn't want me working. He says, I'm 60. He said, I really don't like the idea of you having to work and struggle, you know. And so he said, this should give you about $8,000 to $12,000 a month. And I'm like, okay, wow.
Wow.
I mean, I was blown away. I just dissolved into tears. And, you know, like I said, this was a very, I was looking forward to this visit, but like I said, we had been estranged and some very ugly things were said between us over the years. And so I was just apprehensive, but I was looking forward to it. And I went, and boy, did I get a massive surprise. It was a wonderful visit. And my brother, my baby brother, God love him, changed my life. Now I don't have to worry about working. I don't have to worry about money. And I just donated some money to Free Speech TV.
Oh, get out of here. That's what that was all about. Lana.
You know, because I feel comfortable now, you know, donating money again, you know, because there for this whole year I've been struggling trying to find my place, Randy. I went through 5 different jobs. I just couldn't figure out what to do with myself. Finally found this one, and it's going really well, but, you know, I still have to be driving, you know.
Yeah.
And my brother doesn't like that, apparently. So there you go. I mean, this miraculous thing. It's been a horrible year, and then it's ending on a really good note for me.
So you're the one. Okay, we have to make a musical out of your life. So, because there's no good stories out there except for yours.
But listen, after your show, I am going to donate more money to your show as well. I know how important that is, and your show is so important to me. And again, I know I've said this before, but I'll say it again. People, Free Speech TV is really, really important, especially now. But so are the individuals like Tom Hartman and like Randi Rhodes to support them. On an individual basis, because, you know, these are the only people out there that are speaking for us. The giant silent majority, apparently, you know, they proved their silence, you know, in this election, and that was horribly disappointing. But it just makes your work and your voice so much more important. And that's all, you know. And my feeling is when I am blessed, you know, especially financially, then I feel it's my duty to bless other people.
Well, it is.
You know, show my dedication and how much I absolutely love and adore you.
Oh,
so
thank you. It's mutual. Your phone is terrible. Go buy a new one.
Terrible. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
It's a new one. I need to get rid of it already.
Yeah, but I love you, and thank you for sharing any of this good news with me and your money. I'll be taking that right off your hands. Just incredible. Wow. So that was a wonderful Thanksgiving story. I mean, it needs to be a musical, right? Because there aren't really any good stories out there anymore. Everybody is, dying of deaths of despair. And I had to sit down with my MAGA uncle and blah, blah, or I didn't go because I couldn't face the I told you so. That is a Christmas story, Lana. That's a really, really beautiful, unbelievable, I don't want to say happy ending because you pervs out there, you know what I mean? But that is an incredible story. That's just amazing that families reconciled. When do you ever hear that? On the Randi Rhodes Show. So I've been talking to her for years because she's a truck driver. That's why I'm saying, are you still driving? For those of you who don't know. Lana is a truck driver from Tennessee, and we bonded over the fact that, you know, I drove an 18-wheeler too, but not as long as her. She literally supports her husband and her family, okay, with it. And I was, you know, a young kid, fearless out there driving, and I did it for like a year to pay hospital bills. You know what the hospital bills were for? See, now I could tell you, for my ectopic pregnancy. That's right. And I would have been dead. And then who would pay my hospital bills by driving a truck? No one. Hospital would have gotten stiff. See how that, cascades into you paying for me. Anyway, that's gorgeous. I love that. That's just stunning. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. But anyway, If you had a great story like that, please share it with others, because everybody is so nervous right now, because it does look like we're in for some things, and we are going to go through some things. There is no question in my mind we're going to go through some things. Why? Because we let a felon into the White House, and people didn't think that mattered. And now you can see Steve Bannon went to jail. Steve Bannon was about to go to jail again for, the We Build the Wall thing, for the fraud, right? I mean, it's like an amazing thing. Kash Patel and the Nunes memo. Do you remember the Nunes memo at all? Okay, so that was the memo that forced, Merrick Garland. It's very busy, appointing special prosecutors, this guy was. But the Nunes memo was written by Kash Patel. A small world. And it said that because there was a staff attorney inside of the FBI who did an application for a FISA warrant, a renewal, not the original, not the second, not the third, but like the fourth renewal of the FISA warrant for Carter Page, omitted some words that he should have included on the fourth renewal. I don't know. Anyway, Nunes said, well, see, he violated the FISA procedure, therefore the entire Russia investigation is garbage. It's duty. It's caca. It's bull. It's this. It's that. Except that at the end, when we got the IG, Michael Horowitz wrote the report, remember that? To look at whether or not the investigation, the Mueller investigation, was on the up and up, and was it required by law? He said, yeah. He said, yes, it was completely warranted. And Donald Trump obstructed justice 10 different times, but you can't prosecute him.
Mary had a little man. False. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America. From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Help is on the way.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show. Turn up your mind.
Growing controversy surrounding Donald Trump's pick to lead the Defense Department. Pete Hegseth accused of routinely mistreating women for years by his own mother.
His mother?
In a 2018 email to her son obtained by the New York Times, Penelope Hegseth wrote, "On behalf of all the women, and I know it's many, you have abused in some way, I say get some help and take an honest look at yourself."
Oh my God.
Penelope told the New York Times on Friday that her statements in the email were not true, and she sent it out of anger and emotion when Hegseth and his second wife were going through a divorce. NBC News has not independently obtained the emails and has reached out to Penelope Hegseth for comment but has not heard back. The Trump transition team slamming the reporting as an exercise to malign Mr. Hegseth. They added Ms. Hegseth quickly regretted her emotional statement. Families argue and say regrettable things all the time. It comes after the Army National Guard officer turned Fox News personality was chosen by Trump as the nation's next Secretary of Defense. Ahead of a lengthy confirmation process in the Senate, Hegseth faces scrutiny over comments he made earlier this month about women in the military, saying they should not serve in combat roles.
It hasn't made us more effective, hasn't made us more lethal, has made fighting more complicated.
And over a 2017 sexual assault complaint, which he denies.
I mean, do you want to try and do some war fighting without the women in the military? Do you want to try and do that? I don't think you do. I really don't think you do. However, this is really, really creepy. This is really, really self-evident. This is so easy, MAGA. It's so easy. Pete Hegseth's mother, his mother, wrote an email to him saying that he abuses women all the time and she has no respect for him. This is the guy who, I mean, now she's like, oh my God, I didn't mean for our dirty laundry to get aired on the Randi Rhodes Show, right? Or in the New York Times, for that matter. But this is so grotesque that if Trump would have known about it, he probably would have nominated him sooner. And apparently, the only job that Pete Hegseth is qualified for is Fox News host or Secretary of Defense. What? Yeah. Turns out that Hegseth has been forced out of previous jobs for having an unpronounceable last name, missing a vowel. He is a vowel movement away from being normal. That's number one. And number two, for financial mismanagement, sexist behavior, I'm reading, and being repeatedly intoxicated on the job. So apparently the only place besides Fox News that Pete Hegseth could be, hired is Donald Trump's 47th administration to be Secretary of Defense. I mean, it's not that important of a job, is it?
All the best people.
Oh, my God, man. Oh, my God. Okay. Oh, my God. So we're going to have to put like barbed wire around the White House so that little children and women don't, walk by there, so that we don't get, even near, because the whole place is going to show up on the sex offender registry. The whole 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue is now going to be on the sex offender registry. Everyone in there. We just hired a president who's a rapist. For God's sake. Now, I've referred to, Matt Gaetz as a sex pest, but he's also a statutory rapist. He's also a sex trafficker. And now we find out Hegseth's own mother is disgusted with his sexual proclivities and his abuse of women. I mean, what is it that makes that the check on the list that says, yes, get him. This is who I want. Bring them in. Put them in very, very high positions in my administration. Why? Why would you do that? Unless you were looking to break the place. And breaking things is very freaking easy. I could stand up right now and I could smash this whole studio, right? I could just have, sort of a Alex Jones crying fest, and, not from Wicked or anything, just because, I'm going to jail and I'm Alex Jones and I looked in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God. And, I sell people, health vitamins and stuff, and what a fraud I am. And I could just, cry about that all day and then just break everything. And that would be easy. But then Roy would have to come, and it would take weeks to put it back together, and thousands of dollars, right?
Roy!
Right. So, it's very easy to break things. This is why I think he's attracted to these losers. I think he understands full well that they cannot do these jobs and that they will be blackmailed almost, the instant they, swear in by, people that are in there already, that are looking to, have something and deliver it to Donald Trump so that Donald Trump can lord that over their sex pest head. But his mother, I swear to God, here's the email. It says, son, this is unbelievable. I have tried to keep quiet about your character and behavior, but after listening to the way you made Samantha feel today, I cannot stay silent. And as a woman and your mother, I must speak out. You are an abuser of women. And that is the ugly truth. And I have no respect for any man that belittles, lies, cheats, sleeps around, and uses women for his own power and ego. And you are that man and have been for years. And as your mother, it pains me and embarrasses me to say that, but it is the sad, sad truth. She goes on. I mean, this goes on for a while. She apologizes for, not being a perfect mom and whatever, mistakes she made. She said, I'm not a saint, far from it, so don't throw that in my face. So already he's mouthy. That he throws things in his mother's face. Not a good, not a good soldier, let's put it that way. No respect for the chain of command, okay? I'm not a saint, far from it, so don't throw that in my face. But your abuse over the years to women, dishonesty, sleeping around, betrayal, debasing them, belittling them. It needs to be called out. Sam is a good mother and a good person, especially under the circumstances you created. And I know deep down you know that. For you try to label her as unstable for your own advantage is despicable and abusive. Oh, we all know who that guy is, right? That guy. You're crazy. You're unstable. You better stop. You better check yourself. You look crazy. You sound crazy. You know that? You know that? Well, she's like, if you cheat on me one more time, I'm going to have to go Lorena Bobbitt on your ass. Oh, you're crazy. There's something wrong with you. You're imagining things, Karen. Oh, go to your ready-made whores. It is that. So unbelievable. And we're going to put that guy in charge of the Pentagon. Sure. Yeah, sure. I mean, come on, this is crazy. So you have to understand that all of these people, including Kash Patel, who is as phony as a $3 bill, okay? Bannon, vowing revenge, all of them. They're A, trying to scare us into submission, which will not happen, and B, they are literally picking people to break things, and that is all they're doing, and they're not doing anything more. I'm relying 100% on, and you should too, their incompetence. That even this, they will F up because they can F up a wet dream, which is why you need to go to your ready-made whores. I mean, it's sad and pathetic, but these are who the people are. The mother says, is there any sense of decency left in you? No, Penelope, none. Penelope Hegseth. Oh, my God. She sounds like a school board member, banning books. Penelope Hegseth, sit down now. But she's the one that stood up for, his wife. Stood up for her daughter-in-law. Stood up for all women. Stood up for the women he's, And just so you remember, Hegseth left his second wife, I'm guessing this was his first, left his second wife for a producer that he met at Fox News while he was married to number 2. He got number 3 pregnant and left number 2 for number 3, and that's where he is now. Great.
All things Randi at RandiRhodes.com.
Go for launch.
Speaking truth to power, the Randi Rhodes Show.
All right, Eric in California. Hello.
Hello, Randi.
Hello.
I was calling about that whole Hunter Biden death trap that they did on him.
Yeah.
With the gun. When it first came about, I thought, it'd be fair if they had been looking into gun registrations when people were buying guns, because I remember here in California, I was building up my hunting, guns, my rifles, and it would ask, are you on any drugs? And everybody in California was getting those pot cards, and they would say, no, I'm not. And they're lying on a federal form, and here it is. They're registered on top of it, so it wasn't that hard to cross-reference. This person's on, what did they call pot back in the Schedule 1 or whatever it was, like heroin?
Yeah.
You go straight from there to a registration, you lied on your form, we're not selling you a gun. That's how, because it was an FBI background check. So, all this, oh my gosh, pulling a hair and wincing about Biden, it's like, people do it all the time. Look at their damn cards that they did registrations on and go, oh, look, you have a pot card. You admitted to taking drugs and you lied on the federal form.
Right.
You see, it was that basic. It was like, it wasn't a hard thing to look up for the federal government. But when it came to Biden, it was totally political. When I saw that, I was like, you got to be kidding me. I knew this a decade ago. And I'm only a commercial electrician. I'm not someone smart. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just an electrician.
You don't have to be a brainiac to figure out that, people who have medical marijuana cards and guns have lied on the form. Okay, it's just...
Exactly.
Right.
I never got a card because of the fact that I was trying to get a nice hunting set going. So I knew better. It's like, don't do that.
What do you hunt?
I don't. I just got it, and then I had buddies, and then I moved. And then all my buddies, I'm like, well, now I don't know anybody who's going to teach me how to hunt. So now I got a 30-06 and a 12-gauge Magnum, which, I got these nice guns that just sit and gather dust now. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, do me a favor and sell them. Okay, thank you. Oh, my God. Really? Tracy in Maryland.
Hi, Randy.
Hey, how
this
are
afternoon.
You? All right.
My second time calling. The reason I'm calling, because I haven't seen anyone in the media even talk about this, but this country is gearing up for what they call the semi-quincentennial, which is the 250th founding of our country, our democratic republic. With this, there's a national committee. It's called America250.org. There's a committee in almost every state. Every state has programming going on. It's supposed to be a bipartisan committee for this national event in 2026. And I'm just real curious about how they're going to handle this PR nightmare, because some of the federal partners on America250.org, Department of Education, Department of State, Department of Justice, anybody listening.
Well, hey, listen, everybody. Just make sure that this 250.org thing isn't going to Steve Bannon's Venmo account.
I don't know. But I mean, this is a massive event taking place in every state, and anybody can go in their state and look up their America 250 committee. I actually emailed mine in Maryland saying, how you guys going to handle this PR problem?
What they say?
I mean, is it going to be like, it's so hypocritical. How could they have, like, the orange one stand on some ceremonial platform celebrating our democracy when they're just in the process of sitting there trying to dismantle it? I mean, it's good. I don't feel happy for those people on that America250.org, but any comment you want to make off air here, that would be interesting to explore this. Thanks so much.
The only comment I have is, just make sure that whatever, fundraising is being done there, that it's not going to Kash Patel's, Cash App. Do you know what I'm saying? Because these are all fraudsters. These are people that, we build the wall. Kash Patel has a fake charity, too. He's got one that's supposed to give to wounded warriors. This is another one that are so disgusting. I mean, the wounded warriors thing, that never went to them either. I mean, the whole thing is just, this is how it happens. This is how it starts, right? It's an amazing thing. I would not be donating any money at all to any org that is part of the next administration. Just don't. Claire in New York.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for the call. Yeah. Listen, now I know everything about this guy Pete. He's an alcoholic. I knew he had the red cheeks, that look about him. My father's an alcoholic. My husband's an alcoholic. My son's an alcoholic.
Oh God.
But I've never been abused. Thank you, Jesus. But I don't care. I'm just living with alcoholics is abuse enough.
Yeah, I don't know how any of this, this character's, bona fides is meshing with being an officer and a gentleman. I don't get the connection. Do you?
Yeah, no, not at all.
No, I love your voice.
It's the road. It's the road, Jack. And I was the first one to claim it. As soon as it came out, I said, birds of a feather. It's sure enough.
But don't they say that, Donald Trump doesn't do any drugs? Donald Trump doesn't drink. Donald Trump,
as Stephanie just said, he put his hand in the pocket and then he rubbed his guns. What the hell's that about?
I don't know. I don't know. It's just so predictable that things will not be going well. I mean, that's a gimme. But thank you for sharing your horrible life with us. Thank God there was Lana today.
I swear I put Claire on because I knew you'd love her voice.
I love her voice. I love her voice. She sounds like every single girl I ever went to school with. Every single one of them. All of them. Every single one. But, wow, that's an unhappy situation that your husband's an alcoholic, your father's an alcoholic, your son's an alcoholic. I mean, we talked to a really an older woman. She was 83 years old, remember? And she was in Kansas, maybe, or Oklahoma, and she had to move because her son, who was an alcoholic, had just died of cirrhosis of the liver. Remember that? And at 83 years old, she was left to move herself. Freda, her name was. Remember her? She was the bravest woman. Claire, you're brave too. Don't let anybody take that away from you. You are tough as nails, honey. Really. Now get up and walk out the door. Keep the ring. Keep the ring. And that's the best advice I have for Hegseth's current wife, Jenny. I know what love is, Jenny. Apparently, it's a 7-carat diamond ring. She's on Hegseth's Twitter page. Cute girl. Very cute girl. The rock on the finger, got to be 7 carats. Square. So that's kind of new. So he's had the mother, Samantha, Meredith, and now Jenny.
Call in, connect. To speak to Randi, call 561-270-3844. 561-270-3844.
Oh, let me correct myself here real quick. So it's not the Wounded Warriors charity that Kash Patel shills for and steals the money from. It's the January 6th Foundation. Okay, it's the January 6th defendants. It's the Kash Foundation. I swear to God, he named the January 6th defendants money, organization after himself. And, the S has a dollar sign. I mean, really, it's called the Kash Foundation. It's a not-for-profit that Mr. Patel has said, was in the New York Times, that Mr. Patel has said offers financial help to a range of recipients, including the families of people charged for their roles in the January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol. Tax filings for the 2023 year show the foundation's revenue surged from $182,000 for the year 2022 to $1.3 million last year, 2023. Its expenses then rose fivefold over 22 to 23 to $674,000. So almost half of that was spent on promotion and advertising, an expense that totaled more than the foundation gave away in contributions and grants last year. So can you see how it works? Can you see the fraud? Can you smell it from there? Because, it's, I can. I hit a skunk, Karen. Ew! Okay, so what they do is they start a foundation, and then they report, the first year's, donations. 100, and in his case was 182,000. And then all of a sudden the money starts rolling in because somebody is on Steve Bannon's show, or somebody is, on Fox, or somebody's plugging it for him, on in some sort of a podcast, whatever it is. And the donations come rolling in. All of a sudden, operating costs go through the ceiling. It goes through the roof. Oh, my God. Let's say it was inflation. But really what we're doing is spending it on promotion, self-promotion, that is. And we're actually spending more on ourselves and taking more in salaries for ourselves than we are actually giving away to in grants for aid to the poor January 6 families who beat cops and did not expect to go to jail for that. The only people that should go to jail are people who lie on gun applications. That's who goes to jail. That's who the jail is for. Anyway, I just needed to correct myself. Okay, so obviously, what we do here is going to be demanding a better future. Because the future should be so bright that we have to wear shades. And right now, no. Right now, it seems like it's going to be a heavy lift just to avoid being arrested, just to avoid being sued, just to avoid being able to move freely about the country, especially if you're a purginated woman, especially if you're a woman who's being assaulted or abused. Thank God Claire is not being assaulted and abused, okay? But God help us all if they stop answering the phone calls of those who are abused, those who are attacked. And all of a sudden it's, you were asking for it. Do you see your outfit? You see what you was wearing over there? You were asking for it. We go right back to that. And so what we're going to do every single day here for the entire administration, if that thing should actually wear on for 4 years, is we're going to not be afraid and demand better from our government, to demand that they uphold the future, to demand that they actually prosecute criminals and not round up little kids. Oh, did you see Holman over the weekend? I mean, over the holiday. This man is, first of all, he's an alcoholic. Okay, I have so many clips of him, and he's just talking like this. Okay, and we're gonna round him, and we're gonna put. I can't even understand what his threats are anymore. Okay, I can't even make my way through his threats because it's so slurry. It's just unbelievable. But here he was sitting here with Greg Abbott. Oh, Abbott, yes, sitting here with Greg Abbott on a TV show, threatening. I mean, they've threatened everybody. Everybody except war criminals get pardoned. Jared Kushner's father-in-law gets pardoned. Jared Kushner gets $2 billion from the Saudis, who, by the way, have just said they don't want no deal with Israel. They're not doing the Abraham Accords. Forget it. But how'd that work out for you, Jared? Pretty good, huh? Selling the intel? Was that how you did it? But yeah, Holman is sitting there on the TV with Greg Abbott from Texas. Matter-of-factly saying we're going to go after everybody. Yes, we're going to go after anybody that we don't like. We're going to seriously go after mayors. Yeah, mayors of cities who refuse to participate in handing over entire families who he wants to deport.
You heard this mayor out there in Colorado. I want to get your reaction to it. And I want you to be clear about who has jurisdiction, the federal government or state and local governments. And if you're a sanctuary state or city, are you breaking the law?
You're absolutely breaking the law. All you have to do is look at Arizona versus U.S. You'll see these breaking the law. But look, me and the Denver mayor, we agree on one thing. He's willing to go to jail. I'm willing to put him in jail. Because there's a statute, it's Title 8 United States Code 1324 III, and what it says is, it's a felony if you knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien from immigration authorities. It's also a felony to impede a federal law enforcement officer. So if we don't want to help, that's fine. He can get the hell out of the way. But we're going to go do the job. President Trump has a mandate for American people.
No.
We got to secure this country. We got to save American lives. And I find it shocking that any mayor of a city would say, President Trump's been clear. We want to concentrate on public safety threats and national security threats. I find it hard to believe that any mayor or governor would say they don't want public safety threats removed from their neighborhoods. I mean, I don't know what the hell is going on in Denver, but we're going to go and we're going to fix it. If you don't want to fix it, if you don't want to protect his communities, President Trump and ICE will.
I'm bored with you already, Holman. I can't understand half of what you're saying. The half that I do understand is boring. It's boring. Seriously, go after criminals. Can't you just do that part? Can't you just get that done? There aren't enough criminals to set up camps, okay? There just aren't. We all know immigrants, they literally don't get in trouble because they don't want to be deported. So they don't even get jaywalking tickets, okay? They don't go through red lights. They don't lie on an application for a driver's license, okay? They don't. Can't you just go and find criminals and stop threatening law-abiding mayors? I mean, this is who they're going after. We're going after Mayor and Bannon. Oh, we're going after Andrew Weissman, and we're going after this one, and I'm going after that one, and I'm going after Hegseth's mom now because she embarrassed him, and what kind of a head case is she? I mean, it's just like, and meanwhile, Donald Trump has pardoned some of the worst criminals. He's pardoned war criminals. Anybody remember the war crimes? There were 3 of them, okay? People know Gallagher. Gallagher, not only did he pardon Gallagher, who took a picture with a teenage corpse that he killed, but he promoted him too after that. What's wrong with people?
This is the Randi Rhodes Show. To speak with Randi, dial 561-270-3844. That's 561-270-3844.
All right, everybody. It is the Free Speech TV Winter Pledge Drive. Please donate now by calling 877-378-8669 or visit us at freespeech.org or text 44321. And then put in the letters, there you go, FSTV, Free Speech TV, right? And we'll send you a secure link and you can donate that way. Just remember, we are underdogs here, but we're going to demand a better a better posture in our society, like something that doesn't make us underdogs, something that makes us equals. There's an idea. So help us stand up to what we're about to see. And whatever they throw at us, let us be unified. Let us be, as one, demanding that they stop the propaganda, demanding that they stop the fear tactics, demanding that they stop trying to make us, run away. Because we're not running away. We believe in freedom. We believe in independent media. We believe that, we are worth it. We believe that we, are a democracy, and that fighting for a republic is, kind of what we do as Americans. So anyway, I also need to tell you that over the Thanksgiving halls, as they say, I hate when they say that, there were bomb threats. Did you know that? There were bomb threats all over the place. There were bomb threats mostly against any representative, any senator from Connecticut. I mean, this was really weird. This was a really strange one. But on Meet the Press, Kristen Walker had Chris Murphy as, a guest. And she said, what's going on with these bomb threats?
You and the rest of the Connecticut delegation, quite frankly, received bomb threats at your homes. Yeah. Now, fortunately, they were investigated. There were no actual bombs, but they did echo threats that have been made to some of the picks that President-elect Trump has made for his cabinet. On a human level, Senator, what was your reaction to learning that, and what have you learned about who might be behind these threats?
Well, as you know, there were threats, very similar threats made the day before to Trump's cabinet nominees. It appeared on Thanksgiving morning. It was Democrats that were targeted. My sense is that this is some outside actor just trying to create confusion and distraction inside the American political system. And listen, I want a Department of Justice. I want an FBI director who's going to go after anybody that tries to threaten the American political system, that goes after Republicans or Democrats. One of the things that I'm concerned about is that Kash Patel is going to only care about protecting Republicans and not care about protecting every single member of the American population, every single one of us who occasionally gets met with these kind of threats.
Right, and this is the question that we have to now ask ourselves as United States senators and House members and citizens of this great country. We now have to ask ourselves, are we living in a country that doesn't protect people who disagree with the president of the United States? I mean, so much for free speech, so much for, freedom of expression, so much for, freedom at all, anywhere, if you disagree with Donald Trump. I mean, that is freaking frightening. It really is. And when you listen to them all threaten that they're coming after Jack Smith, and they're coming after Elizabeth, Cheney, and they're coming after this one, and they're coming after that one, and Kash Patel is ready to do this, and he's ready to do that, and it blows your mind. It blows your mind. So you have to understand why they're breaking the government. Because I think everybody can conceive that these are the least qualified people to head any of these departments. I mean, Hegseth, officer and a gentleman. His mother laughs hysterically at that labeling of her son. And he's going to be in charge of the Pentagon. He's going to be the guy that actually evaluates flag officers. He's the guy that evaluates, 4-star, 3 stars, lieutenant colonels. He's the guy, right? I mean, it's laughable. It's laughable, but it's going to happen. It may not be him, but it'll be some other douche. It'll be some other, miscreant. It'll be somebody else who was, completely loyal to the naked emperor. You know what I mean? And won't say he has no clothes. So it doesn't really matter anymore who he picks. And we have to stop getting, I mean, there's 4 that are so bad that you can't not say anything. I mean, that's, what's her face? I always blank out on her. I could see her face. I mean, she's, you know who I'm talking about?
Just took a phone call about donations, so I missed it.
Tulsi Gabbard.
The one I missed on before?
Yes.
Tulsi Gabbard.
It's always going to be Tulsi Gabbard.
It's Tulsi Gabbard, Randy.
Always. It's always going to be Tulsi Gabbard. When I blank on a Trump administration female, it's going to be Tulsi. Well, anyway, Nikki Haley was all over TV saying, Tulsi Gabbard is a Russian mouthpiece. Tulsi Gabbard is a... Well, now, I don't know if you realize this, but over the weekend, Syria is falling to the rebels I mean, it's like a Star Wars movie almost, except these are Islamic fundamentalist rebels, who want to subjugate women, because who doesn't? But they just took over Aleppo yet again. We had a Democratic presidential debate, I guess, back in 2016, the one that Hillary won, and we had a candidate who was like, "What's Aleppo? What's in Aleppo?" Remember that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's been going on this long, and all of a sudden, we announced that we're going to be changing presidents, and the rebels seem to go into and take over Aleppo. It's just so fantastical. And Tulsi Gabbard is like saying, I'm vouching for Bashar al-Assad. He's a good man. Yes, he gasses his own people every once in a while, but I don't think he's a threat. And meanwhile, they're constantly trying to overthrow him, one group or another. And that happened this weekend. It was really, really creepy. And so Nikki Haley was like, she is a Russian mouthpiece. She is.
She went to Syria in 2017 for a photo op with Bashar al-Assad while he was massacring his own people. She said she was skeptical that he was behind the chemical weapons attacks. Now, this to me is disgusting because, Cheney, you and I were at the United Nations when Assad did those chemical attacks on those children. Yep. And you can go back and look at a speech I gave holding up pictures of dead children who had been killed by chemical attacks.
Yep, choked to death.
For her to say that Assad was not behind that, literally everything she said about that were Russian talking points.
Just saying. So, some of these people are just top-notch, top shelf, the elf on the shelf would be better. But, oh no. So Chris Murphy is trying to tell you why. The why of it all is what seems to be the stumbling block for a lot of people who realize now, even if they voted for him, that they didn't think he was going to do half of the crap that he said he was going to do. Why, I have no idea. But he is going to try to do the crap that he said he was going to try to do, which is mass deportations, tariffs on everybody, crash our economy. You understand, right? And threaten people who disagree with him, make them afraid of him. That used to just be like Republicans, like Ted Cruz, right? Ted Cruz would be threatened by Donald Trump. Lindsey Graham would be, I don't know what the thing is that Lindsey Graham's afraid of. Is it a photo of him with a dead goat or a live boy? I don't know. But they all back off. I mean, you can insult their wives now. You can call their wives ugly. You can call them, liars. You can call their dicks little. You could say whatever you want about them because they'll back the hell off. They're just afraid of you for whatever reason. Chris Murphy understands that it is now crunch time for this Republican Party. There's very little Democrats can do in the Senate or in the House, right? But the Republicans can do everything. And he's trying to explain why they don't. And this was as good an explanation as I've ever heard.
What worries me about this cabinet is that it is essentially putting the billionaire class in charge of American government. The net worth of Donald Trump's nominees is greater than 169 countries. The folks that are being nominated to run the Department of Commerce, Treasury, Education, they don't understand what regular people are going through. All they see government as good for is enriching themselves and their billionaire friends. And so that is what the story of this cabinet is Donald Trump and the billionaire class taking over government to enrich themselves and screw everybody else in this country.
Yes, and so what do you do to distract from that fact? You pick Tulsi Gabbard. You pick Pete Hegseth. You pick Kash Patel to go head up the FBI. You make people just like, oh my God, you can't be serious. He probably isn't about those, but it makes Linda McMahon look like a normal pick for Secretary of Education. You understand? It makes a billionaire look acceptable to be the Secretary of Commerce. It all looks, well, at least they're not, abusing women. At least they're not, Russian, puppets. And it seems like, okay, they're the lesser. Let's do it.